the government through the 2017 budget hopes to increase tax revenue by 20% and gather a total of 1,821 billion rupees. Now, according to Reuters reports, the budget was made in a manner that will help reach the targets set by the International Monetary Fund when providing loans to the country. While the second installment of the IMF Extended Fund Facility will be released on the 20th of this month, the Executive Board of the IMF will convene on the 18th in order to finalize the matter.
On the 3rd of June, the Executive Board of the IMF approved a 36-month extended arrangement under the Extended Fund Facility for an amount of 221.85 billion rupees for Sri Lanka. According to Minister of Finance Ravi Karunanayake, this facility was obtained to bridge the gap in the country's balance of payments, which is the deficit between Sri Lanka's exports and imports. The IMF agreed to release this facility in 7 installments. When the loan was being approved by the IMF, a number of proposals were made by the fund with regard to Sri Lanka's monetary policy and balance of payments. Among the proposals made were implement a structural increase in revenues that facilitate a reduction in the fiscal deficit, reverse the decline in central bank foreign exchange reserves, reduce public debt relative to GDP and lower Sri Lanka's risk of debt distress, enhance public financial management and improve the operations of state-owned enterprises. The IMF presented a number of points that need to be achieved in order to achieve these goals. These points include fiscal consolidation, revenue mobilization, public financial management reforms, state enterprise reforms, transition to flexible inflation targeting under a flexible exchange rate regime, and reforms in the trade and investment regime. The IMF will convene prior to the second installment of the facility being released on the 20th of November, which will see 20.7% of the loan being released to examine the progress of the country in achieving these goals.
I do not have to elaborate on the dire straits many SOBEs are in at present. As such, comprehensive reform programs will be required to revamp such enterprises and to transform them into viable ventures. It is critical that the fiscal deficit is reduced to a reasonably sustainable level. All efforts should be made to reduce and contain pressure on escalating inflation and interest rates as well as exchange rate depreciation through macroeconomic stabilization. We need to strengthen our external sector with appropriate policies to create sufficient buffers. The burden of the public debt has been a matter of serious concern to this government. Carefully designed policies and programs will be implemented while not compromising the demands of the country's development. The potential implications of our unfunded pension scheme also create integrational complexities. This scheme is a severe burden on the government budget.
Is this budget one that is fulfilling the needs of the International Monetary Fund? Open for debate.